Sup, people? This your boy John Doe. How y'all doing, man? Sitting over here, very excited about this NFL draft that's coming on later on tonight. And I want to go over a couple of things with you. I see some good things, some bad things. Sitting here going over the mock draft. Cause like football season about to start up. This moving a little bit more to what I like, getting away from all the negativity that's going on in the gaming community right now. And moving to a little, some things that's a little bit more positive. As we know, Madden coming back around, you got E3 around the corner. I'm really looking forward to the next Madden. But I thought I started off with a little bit more football. I want to actually give y'all how I feel about, American football, because I know I got some people who actually watch my channel who isn't American, who not from the US, but I'm a big American football fan. So I would like to bring a little bit more sports related topics to my channel. And this is one of the things that I want to bring. Talking about, the upcoming draft or whatnot. So let's get into it. And first of all, I'm going to get into my overrated players. As my boy Screwface says, the underwear champions. You know what I'm saying? Because at the combine they have them wearing them tights. You know what I'm saying? He called that the underwear Olympics. And you got your underwear champions. A lot of these people have moved up because they looked good at the underwear Olympics, while other players have moved down. Even though they had stellar college careers, they moved down because they didn't look as polished as they should have at the underwear Olympics. And then you got other players who really didn't even perform at the combine. So with that being said, going into the whole 2014 draft, the top picks were Teddy Bridgewater from Louisville. When the season was going on, he's the best pick. He's the most polished quarterback coming out. So on and so on. Jadeveon Clowney was the best player, period, that was coming out. Last year, if he would have came out last year, he was predicted to be the number one overall pick. Oh, what I'm saying? We see what a year could change. Even though most people still seeing him as the number one overall pick, you got people out there saying this dude Khalil Mack is better. But let me go on to the people who I feel that's overrated. Khalil Mack, I feel he's a little bit overrated, and he might come into the league and he might be the best thing smoking. I cannot knock this man for where he played. Well, I can, because if he was that polished and that good, I felt he should have played at a bigger school, a more reputable school, a D1. You got plenty of them. You got in his area where he played at, he went to Buffalo. I don't know exactly where he's from. I'm not looking at people's background, so I can't tell you where they're from. But around that area, you got Syracuse. You got he could have played at Temple, Ohio State, Michigan, Wisconsin. Because he played in Buffalo. So Michigan State, that's the Big Ten area. You got Rutgers around the other side of New York, where he could have played, and people could have actually seen him against better talent than he played at Buffalo, So he is one of the biggest asterisks next to his name that I see. No. I'm not gonna say he the biggest, but because I don't see like I don't know how much of a difference he gonna make, but where they predicted him going, he could be one of the biggest busts. But it's somebody right on par with him, and that's Bortles, Blake Bortles from UCF. And I always say this. See, he go to the he have a good year coming out of the American Conference. I cannot knock him. American Conference, that's my conference, and he did his thing. You know, I can't knock him for what he did in the American Conference last year, but it wasn't just him. He had a great running back. The defense they had at UCF was damn good, and he had some pretty good receivers. You know, the team was not a bad team at all. But they look at him and they look at his measurables and they saying this dude is the prototypical quarterback and he should be picked up higher than I feel he should be going. Be honest, in my honest opinion, I don't think he should be considered in the top 25. You know, but like I said, the Underwear Olympics, they boost people up, and the measurables help out. Then he did win the BCS Bowl last year, and they had a pretty good season. I think they went 11-1 or something like that. They had a damn good season, and they topped it off by winning the BCS Bowl against Baylor. You know, so with that being said, do I think he's gonna come in and be a bust? I'm not gonna say that because it's honestly too much to tell. But I don't feel he has done enough in college to justify him being taken that early. It's like when the combine come out, like they go all 4 years or however many years these players is in college football, and they judge them on their collegiate career up until when they get ready to come out. And then they go to the combine and they throw everything they did before the combine and their pro days out the window, and they base it solely on the combine and the pro day, and they just forget about what these dudes did in college. And that irks my nerves every single year they have done these drafts, and you sit back and you watch ESPN talk about combine and pro days, you know. And the next player that I'm gonna speak on is probably the most famous player out of the that's coming out this year, because I done heard everybody say him going number 1 to the Texans to number 16 to the Cowboys. And it's Mr. Football, Johnny Football. You know what I'm saying? And it kills me with Johnny Football. Am I going to say he going to be a bust? I'm not. But is it really possible that he can be a bust? I definitely see it being possible for the simple fact he's small, and in college he seems a little faster than what he is. He's quick. He's not top end fast. And in the NFL, being quick ain't gonna get you away from them linebackers and them defensive ends, who's also quick and fast, you know. So I don't see him doing the same things that he did in college. And plus, in the NFL, they hit much, much harder. See, so in the NFL, he gonna have to make most of his living in the pocket. And with him having to stay in the pocket, do I see him being as good of a small quarterback as, let's say, a Drew Brees or Russell Wilson. And when I look at him, I honestly don't see Johnny Manziel just standing in the pocket, being able to deliver the ball like Drew Brees or Russell Wilson. I don't see it. I might be proven wrong later, but I honestly don't think he should have came out this year, but he did. I think one more year in college would have did him a hell of a justice. It would have helped him out more if he had stayed in, because they could have actually worked on his pocket presence a little bit more, you know, and prepare him to come into the draft. Into the NFL, not the draft, into the NFL. It could have prepared him a little bit better, because, like I say, he's not a big quarterback. And when I compare him, I don't compare him to Peyton Manning or Tom Brady. I don't compare him to those quarterbacks because his skill set is different. When I compare Johnny Manziel, I compare him to a Drew Brees type. Will he be able to fulfill the role like Drew Brees does? And I don't see it, because a lot of the things he did in college was mostly improvised plays. He run around the circle for a little bit. Somebody gets open downfield and he throw the ball downfield. Or he scramble around, dinks the ball off. But most of the time he's scrambling and the receivers getting open while the defenders coming to chase him down. So, and it's leaving people for him to throw to downfield. In the NFL, I don't see that happening. Let me see if any, like I'm looking at Mel Kiper board and Todd McShay. And they got some different opinions on people. Kevin Benjamin. Like, it's a couple of players, I don't know if they're coming out. I think I'm surprised. I think DeAnthony Thomas coming out. Let me see. I want to make sure about that. Let me type that in. From Oregon, because I'm surprised. Oh, there it is. Yeah. He coming out. Yes, he is. Yeah, I can't believe it. There we go. Yeah, he coming out this year. Okay. With that being said, I'm surprised that I haven't heard about DeAnthony Thomas slipping up higher. Even though he didn't have a set role when he was at Oregon. He played a slot wide receiver. And they moved him over to, had him playing a little bit of H-back, but he's really small. But I think in the NFL, they could definitely use him as a straight slot receiver. And then that begs the question, do you pick a slot receiver that high? But with all the things that he giving you a slot receiver, somebody who could run out of the backfield. Just look at last year with Tavon Austin from West Virginia. I see DeAnthony Thomas in the same light as I do a Tavon Austin. He can definitely be used the same way because he played, really the same position, but he wasn't as prolific as a receiver as Tavon Austin, because Tavon Austin did his thing at receiver. He got the ball, and he did a little bit more, but I see DeAnthony Thomas being able to play the same role, doing special teams, playing the slot, playing out of the backfield a little bit. You know, get him a little bit more weight because the boys are a little on the thin side, but they get him in the NFL, fatten him up, you know what I'm saying, get some muscle on him. I feel he could definitely be a great pick, and I think he's a sleeper for the next round. Somebody, and this going into, as you can see, I'm transitioning away from the biggest busts to more of the sleepers and the people who I feel should be getting the recognition, who isn't getting the recognition going into, you know, saying the draft. Like, the number one player who I feel they're sleeping on, basing the numbers, basing it on combine and pro days, Teddy Bridgewater. If you watch, this dude have won 2 BCS Bowls. I think over that same time span, he was there 3 years. He might have had 5 losses at Louisville. Last year wasn't the best schedule, you know, so they really hurt themselves with the schedule. But with this whole conference realignment thing, it wasn't really too much that they can do. So they just made the best of what they had. But at the same time, Teddy Bridgewater did not disappoint his whole collegiate career. He came in as one of the best quarterbacks in the nation, and the whole time that he was at Louisville, he played as one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. He looked like one of the best in the nation, you know. Even up until the end of last season, you know. He looked like one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. And for them to, hold on. Okay, yeah. Well, I was just trying to think, did he play in the BCS Bowl? But I'm pretty sure he played in the BCS Bowl last year. If not, leave it down in the comments, you know what I'm saying? But I know he definitely beat Florida in the BCS Bowl. I know that for sure. I'm just not sure if he played in another BCS Bowl last year, because I know UCF played in one. And I think that might have been the only one they had. So he might only have one, but if I'm wrong about that, leave that down in the comments. But like I said, his whole college career, he looked spectacular. And for them basing it on him, because he didn't participate in the combine. He saved it for his pro day, but his balls weren't flying off his hand. But if you watch Teddy Bridgewater, when he played at Louisville, he used gloves. He threw his whole career, he threw with gloves on, you know. So them basically, and he said he probably could have threw the ball better if he could have threw the ball better if he had his gloves. I believe him, because his whole time where he played at Louisville, he wore gloves. You know, people don't see that as a big difference, but that's a huge difference. That's like somebody who don't wear gloves trying to throw the ball with gloves on. You know, it's a completely different experience. It's a completely different experience for him when he don't use gloves, you know. So, with that being said, I think he's the biggest sleeper. To be honest with you, I seen it. My draft board would be him number one. No. Clowney as number one. And, Teddy Bridgewater would be my number 2 off. You know what I'm saying? Coming out of college. It all depends on the needs, but I'm not basing it on the needs. But I feel those should still be the number 1 and 2s. We already know I ain't really got to say too much about Sammy Watkins. I'm just hoping that the Bucks can shimmy their way up out of this number 7 and move right on up into number 5. And go ahead and grab up Sammy Watkins. That's a huge one for me. Somebody else who you don't hear too much about, C.J. Mosley. I really liked him while he was at Alabama. He was a real good He is a real great linebacker. I think he fell off a little bit last year, but I still think he's one of the best linebackers, even though he's considered to go in the top 13. This dude Jake Matthews, I cannot knock him. The offensive tackle for Texas A&M, he was a beast. I wonder what happened to that center for Alabama. Did he come out last year? It's when he came out this year. Well, I'm just looking. Like I said, I'm just looking through here, but that's about it. I'm not gonna go too far in. You know, I named a couple of players that I felt as busts. You know, and a couple of players who I feel, you know, they really sleeping on, who should go a little bit earlier than they actually projecting them to go. I want y'all to let me know how y'all feel about the draft, because I'm very psyched up. I'm very excited. Football season is coming around faster and faster. Soon we'll have football on TV again. Be a beautiful thing. But with that being said, oh my goodness, it's going on 21 minutes. With that being said, let me get on about y'all a little, man. But this your boy John Doe. With another video. You know what I'm saying? A little something different. Hope you guys like it. And I'm out. Later, people. Yeah.